All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. So, of course, I'm gonna wait a few minutes to give people a chance to come in here. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. So, I hope everybody's having a good week. We're now down kind of down kind of towards the end of the week here. Our last news night um, before excuse me a moment. I do need to do something here real quick, so I'll be right back. But while I'm gone, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some music for you guys. See you later. All right, you guys check some more. Yep, got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, hopefully this will. All right. So, anyways, all right. So we're back now. So put that. Let's see. We're now at 3 minutes. So we're. This would be a good time to start kind of going over what's on top for tonight. So for that, let me tell you guys. So first up, of course, we're gonna be going over 5 articles from Bounding into Comics. Um, all right. So, anyways, so as I said, we got 5 articles we're gonna be going over tonight. Bounding into Comics. Um, Among those include the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. The first trailer for that dropped today, and the creator for Jujutsu Kaisen is hinting at the possibility that the manga may be coming to an end here in 2023. Also, a veteran Arrow mangaka, or a veteran, basically veteran um, erotic manga creator, has claimed that his latest series was rejected um, because the publisher feared that basically the characters with animal ears would draw accusations of bestiality from the West. Again, publishers Crunchyroll. We got some Crunchyroll news in regards to them having to drop a particular manga series. Let's see. Got some news on a crowdfunded MonsterVerse omnibus collection from Legendary Comics, as well as Marvel Comics is apparently going to change origin story for Adam Warlock. So, that those are the plus we got, of course, the wrestling, the wrestling wrap up, along with this day in each history. So let's see where we're at on time here. All right, so we're past the 6 minute mark. I'm going to go ahead and get started here then. And without any further ado, let's get to this. All right, so the first article we're going to look at here is kind of anime manga related, of course. Jujutsu Kaisen anime drops first trailer for second season as creator Gege Akutami hint manga may end in 2023. Article by Nerdigan Inc. published actually yesterday. Today is the 26th, so yesterday the 26th even. So as 2022 drew to a close, Mappa had planned partying like it was 2006 with the release of the premiere trailer for the highly anticipated second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. I guess in 2006 may have been the year that Kaisen first came out as a manga. But anyways, its first look debuting at the series December 17th, 2022 presentation at Shueisha's Jump Festa 2023. The second season of Jujutsu Kaisen will kick off with series hidden inventory premature death arc. With the series, okay. So that's what it is. Set in 2006, the arc follows then second year Tokyo Jujutsu High students, Satoru Goji and Suguru Geto, um, as they are tasked with escorting the latest sacrificial body, otherwise known as the Star Plasma Vessel, for Master Tengen to merge with in order to combat the effects of his immortality. However, the two are in a race against time, as not only must they bring the vessel to Tengen before the next full moon, lest he loses humanity, but um, they must do so while fending off the attacks of two groups of curse users, um, who want nothing more than for the Jujutsu sorcerers to lose one of their most important allies, Group Q in the Fanatical Time Vessel Association. Focused on introducing the main characters of this next arc, the new trailer kicks off with a younger Satao Gojo, who is voiced in Japanese by Yuichi Nakamura, who was Andy in Undead Unluck. Already the protector of the weak, he is in the future and fed up with the idea that people must apply reasoning and responsibility to their jujutsu use. And I guess that's Satoru right there. Seguru Getos, who is voiced in the Japanese by Takahiro Sakurai, who voiced Diablo in That Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime, philosophical beliefs are the complete opposite Gojo, as his collectivist mindset leads him to believe that it is society's job to protect the weak and keep the strong in check, with Jujutsu existing solely to protect those who can't wield it. Hmm. I know, kind of another manifestation of what we have in our world right now, right? Especially here in the states. Line of thinking, as it were. If we have any more. All right, continuing on here. Anyways, the woman who would eventually become Tokyo Jujutsu High's resident doctor, Shoko Ieri, who is voiced by Aya Endo, who provided the voice of Totoko Yawai in Oso Matsu-san, stars in the arc as a third member of the Gojo and Gato's group, though there are more, in smaller quotes, dark ideas about the world lead her to eventually keep her distance from them. Next up is Riko Amanai, and they haven't cast her yet, apparently. It's to be determined, I guess. The designated star plasma vessel who Gojo and Gato are assigned to bring to Master Tengen. However, thanks to the Star religious group hiring their most infamous assassin to prevent them from reaching their goal, this mission will not be an easy one for the dynamic duo. She is right there. Look at that, in her school uniform and all that. Yeah, would you expect her to be an assassin? Some schoolgirl, right? Albeit in many Japanese anime, that's their teenagers seem to be able to handle more than here in the states. So go figure. Implying that Gojo, Geto, and Rico are bound to him by fate by introducing him with a graphic of a breaking chain. The trailer then moves to introduce the Star Religious Group's assassin, former Zenin clan member and father to Megumi Fushiguro, Toji. Despite not having cursed energy, Toji still has the ability to sense curses. They're nothing more than his five base senses. Um, Not only that, but in reaction to the unusual expulsion of all of its cursed energy, Toji's body has sharpened itself to the point where he can even outright resist curses. So there he is right there. However, while the trailer's premiere had fans' hype level going through the roofs, the post-reveal message um, shared by original series mangaka Gege Akutami raised concern and confusion amongst fans, as he appeared to strong imply. I think it's supposed to be strongly imply that the Jujutsu Kaisen manga would be coming to an end in 2023. After the trailer's premiere, a message from Jujutsu Kaisen mangaka Gege Akutami revealed that Jujutsu Kaisen Jump Super Stage presentation raised concerns amongst fans for the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. There you go, right there. Quote, thank you for your continued support of Jujutsu Kaisen, wrote Akutami, unquote, as translated by Twitter user Sokatsu. Quote, it suck, but we often, I guess he's supposed to say it sucks, but we often have to hear news that we dread hearing about each day. It's honestly a miracle that so many people enjoy my works, even as reality seems to slowly but surely suffocate us. Oh, dude sounds a little dour, doesn't he? Um, quote, I will still draw nonsensical things that make no sense. Gege-chan would be so happy if you could stay with me and continue to enjoy my work for yet another year. Maybe. Um, uh, all right, well, anyways, though though disheartening for fans of the series, this was not the first time Akutami hinted that his world famous series, would be coming um, to an end in 2023. During a previous interview, um, during a previous February 2021 interview with Mondo Kobayashi, Akutame revealed that we're only halfway done with the story. It's set end within the next 2 years. All right, so let's try something here as well. All right, so anyways, getting back to the article here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jujutsu Kaisen will launch its second anime domain expansion in July 2023. And there we go with that article. So we're done with that one. Let's see where are we at on time here. All right. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next article here. Let's see. All right. So, anyways, this one should be a bit more interesting. All right. So let's get into this. Veteran Arrow mangaka claims latest series rejected because publisher feared characters with animal ears would draw accusations of bestiality from the West. Oh boy, don't you just love this kind of stuff? All right, article by Nerdigan published yesterday. So let's go ahead and get into this. As a desire by higher ups to reach, in smaller quotes, global audiences had led to more and more infringement on the visions of Japanese anime and video game creators, the battle over universal content standards is also heating up in the world of manga. Oh boy, yeah. I think we really need to worry about this, people. The whole idea of a one world order. There shouldn't be, people should have the freedom to be able to decide what kind of content they wish to consume. On January 12th, longtime veteran erotic mangaka Juan Goto took to Twitter to express his frustration at his latest series apparently being rejected due to his publisher's fears that it starring the quote-unquote Fox girl in Crawford, mind you, character was enough to have overly sensitive Western editors accusing him and his work of promoting bestiality. Oh man, that's utterly ridiculous considering that these type of characters have been around in Japanese folklore. I mean, look at Inuyasha, right? You know, um, Inuyasha, Naruto, um, these boy, even Yu Yu Hakusho, right? With Karama there. Hmm. Anyways, let's get into this. Oh, speaking of which, for the Arrow manga, I'm drawing currently. When I suggested having a sex scene take place at a shrine with a god's messenger that had fox ears and a tail, I was told in small quotes, because this is an e-magazine, we're afraid we might break the rule about in smaller quotes no bestiality. Um, and so adding the ears and tail was rejected. Unquote. Um, the only problem is that these are godlike entities who do take some form of human form, even if it is a hybrid between a human and an animal. uh, they're not like outright having. They're not like outright having sex with animals. These are human animal hybrids. And of course, these guys are doing it again. All right, so let's see. Open the Arrow mangaka translated via Sankaku Complex. Uh, quote, because e-magazines follow Western standards, sometimes things like this may happen. Yeah, which is really kind of poopy. All right, because I think quote, even when I said they were a in smaller quotes neko and not a in smaller quotes furry, he clarified the editor was not able to immediately tell. Really? Go back up to the scene to some. Yeah, I think you can tell that those are nekos. I think some of those editors seem like they're either blind or stupid. All right. Returning to the topic the next day, Goto further explained that, quote, on the topic of Kino, Mimi and Tails, um, basically the publishing company will outsource the e-magazine to a company working in the online publishing industry. And so the editor isn't able to immediately determine if it's okay or not, unquote. Normally speaking, you'd think they are overthinking it, but as soon as there's a report from the online publishing company saying that this is bad, unquote, unquote, it's easy to get the manga taken offline, unquote. In order to read it. Which is why they should consider, which is of course why they should probably consider coming up with their own online publishing site to where they can have this, have the creative freedom. To that end, Goto then revealed that, quote, for paper publications, the only parties involved are the publishing company and distributors like Nippon and Shohan, unquote. He added, quote, for e-magazines, lots of companies like Sanza and or Kindle are involved in the dealings, you see. Well, speaking of which, unquote, he briefly noted, quote, My Arrow manga, Tankobon, would feature a lot of Oni, Sota, and incest are pretty much all removed from Kindle. Quote, they were registered there once, but suddenly one day they removed it from the shelf, unquote. He sighed. Quote, it's quite tough as soon as somebody raises their voice saying, in small quotes, I can't believe you're distributing something as disgusting as this. Then it's gone, unquote. So, yeah, again, Japanese sensibilities are different from from Western sensibilities. You know, I'm sure there are a lot of Americans who probably may not necessarily have quite as big of a deal with, or Westerners who quite as big a deal with some of this stuff as some of these screechers would have you believe. Concluding his thoughts on the matter, Goto opined, quote, I think there is an obligation for publishers to protect freedom of speech and expression, at least in post-war Japan. But ebook distributors don't seem to be aware of this, unquote. Quote, if a complaint comes in, they cut it off, unquote, he lamented. Quote, it's like they don't care about us. Well, again, I would recommend maybe you should start your own e-publishing company then. Stop doing business with them. They want to censor your books. You can always take your books elsewhere and, maybe create your own site, to publish them. Because we are finding that here too, right? With the indie comics, we've been talking about like with Mike Barron in particular, where they're in kind of a similar situation where some of these sites are kind of acting as judge, jury, and executioner for what they deem are appropriate and inappropriate content. Anyways, as we continue on here, as of writing, Goto has provided no further details on either the exact content of his proposed series nor which specific publisher voiced their above concerns. So, yeah, and of course, there's been a lot of this going on where, you know, and again, societal views are different, you know, in different societies. So, I mean, that sometimes does tend to create some problems. We're getting ready to move on to the next article then. And we're doing a lot of manga tonight. Manga and anime here, starting off. All right, so let's get into. All right, so here we go. Crunchyroll and Azuki forced to drop Kodansha manga series after publisher announces end of simulpub services. Article by Nerdigans published yesterday in the manga section. So on January 12th, which was probably about 2 weeks ago today, online manga distribution platforms Azuki and Crunchyroll Manga broke the unfortunate news to their subscribers that Kodansha have decided to end their popular manga simulpub partnership program. This news was first revealed by the Azuki, who, in a January 12th blog post, announced that they would be removing a number of chapters from various Kodansha series due to the development. Quote, "We sincerely apologize to the fans of these series, but this is a policy change on Kodansha's end that affects all of the platforms they distribute on, not just Azuki," um, unquote, wrote the service's administrative team. As per Azuki, the full list of series and chapters their platforms set to be affected by this change include A Sign of Affection, chapters 20, X32, Attack on Titan, chapters 131 to 139, Card Captor Sakura, Clear Card Arc, chapters 50 to 69, Drifting Dragons, chapters 57 to 78, Eden Zero, chapters 132 to 222, Space Brothers, chapters 377 to 395, The Ghost in the Shell, The Human Algorithm, chapters 20 to 54, The World of Summoning, chapters 1 to 11, To Your Eternity, chapters 147 to 165.2, Topu GP, chapters 29 to 79, Yuki Holder, um, chapters 181 to 192, and then Wave Listen to Me, chapters 65 to 86. Those are all the chapters and stuff that are. However, while Azuki will still have earlier chapters from the aforementioned titles available for readers, Kodansha's change-up will require Crunchyroll to outright remove a number of series from their manga app. A Sign of Affection by Sue Morishita, Card Captor Sakura, Clear Card Arc by Clamp, Drifting Dragons by Taku Kuwabara, Eden Zero and Fairy Tale by Hiromashima, Farewell, My Dear Kramer by Naoshi Arakawa, and Fire Force by Otsuki Okubo. The Space Brothers by Chuya Koyama. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime by Kawakami Taiki. Ghost in the Shell, The Human Algorithm by Shiro Masamune. Junichi Fujisaku and Yuki Yoshimoto. The World of Summoning by Yuki Kodama. To Your Eternity by Yoshitoki Oima. Topu GP by Kosuke Fujishima. Yuki Holder by Ken Akamatsu. And Wave Listen to Me by Hiroaki Samura. According to a statement that Crunchyroll received from Kodansha, the reason behind the publisher's decision to end their popular long-running manga simulpub program seems to be based on their upcoming plans to update to their distribution program. Okay, I think one too many twos right there, but anyways, quote, due to the forthcoming changes in Kodansha's simulpub distribution program, We are suspending Simulpub updates until further notice. Unquote. Kodansha reportedly announced, quote, for now, the best way to keep up with your favorite series will be by following the collected volumes, unquote. But we at Kodansha are deeply sorry to those of you who have kept up to date through the Simulpub format, unquote. They concluded, quote, and while we can't divulge any details at the moment, we have exciting announcements to make about Simulpubs in the coming months, unquote. Oh, there we go with that one. Anyways, we're getting ready to move on to. Let me see what time we're on time here. 40. All right, so we're making some good time there. Let's see. We're getting ready to move on to the next article. I think we just went through three of them thus far. All right, so here's the next one coming up right here. Anyways, crowdfunded MonsterVerse Omnibus collection by Legendary Comics to feature new Godzilla story by Brian Buccellato. Article by J.D. Augustine published earlier today. The MonsterVerse continues in print as well. Legendary Comics is putting all its MonsterVerse stories thus far together into one collection this year. That includes a new story, quote unquote, called Action, is is a tale exclusive to the MonsterVerse Omnibus, taking place during the event of Godzilla versus Kong, and it's brand new to the 10-year continuity. The crowdfunded project, the all-new story, is about a naval fighter pilot with a personal attachment to Godzilla. It's put to the test when a squadron is called upon to intercept the king of monsters, unquote, says the Kickstarter campaign description. The writer is Brian Buccellato, um, who's known for writing Batman, The Flash, and Injustice for DC, as well as the Black Bat for Dynamite Comics. Kingdom Kong and Skull Island, The Birth of Kong, artist Zid, returns to illustrate, continuing his long working relationship with Legendary Comics. The former two books are included in the omnibus, along with Godzilla Dominion, Godzilla Awakening, and Godzilla Aftershocks, which introduced readers to Mamuto Prime. Backers will be rewarded with all these together in a digital bundle. Getting the MonsterVerse collection in a PDF comes with an exclusive wallpaper for laptops, desktops, and mobile devices. A disclaimer says item designs aren't final, but the wallpaper is a colored version of the GVK teaser image released by Adam Wingard and Playmates months before the film's release. Shows Kong bring back the Prince Godzilla during their Hong Kong tour. Hello, for the third person here, if you can like and share the stream, that will be greatly appreciated to help bring more people in. Also, anything here catches your attention, feel free to like and share the stream. Or I'm sorry, anything catches your attention, feel free to comment or ask questions. I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Let's see. This prize is for pledges $15 or more. Pledges of $99 earn quote the Kickstarter exclusive hardcover edition, which is oversized at 7 inches by 11 inches and boasts an approximate page count of 500. The hardcover prize also comes to a deluxe omnibus slipcase that is only available to backers and not through retail. Backers total 1,837, with late pledges still being accepted. Legendary launched a Kickstarter on December 14th and surpassed all their fundraising goals within a month. They raised over $125,000 by January 3rd and soon exceeded that number to reach $209,742. Campaign closed um, on January 13th, which was two weeks ago tomorrow. But non-backers can still pre-order the omnibus and other items, including a Titanus Doug plushie. Everything is scheduled to ship in October. Alrighty then. So then I think we have one more article to go through before we start to move on here. Let's see. So yeah, we're at the 50-minute mark, so we're making some good time here. All right, so let's get into this then. Marvel Comics to seemingly change Adam Warlock's origin introduces Eve Warlock, who is, quote, stronger, faster, and smarter. Could this be another one of those let's put men down bits again? Article by John F. Trent published earlier today. Marvel Comics announced that they will seemingly change Adam Warlock's origin in an upcoming solo series titled Warlock Rebirth. For those who are unfamiliar with Adam Warlock's origin, the character was first introduced in Fantastic Four number 66. In that first appearance, it's revealed he is the creation of a group of human scientists operating out of a place called the Citadel of Science. This group's aim was to create a new race or breed of living beings that they could control in order to conquer mankind. Their initial results were a success with the creation of him, who would later be known as Adam Warlock. However, the scientists failed to implement their control mechanisms and contain the sheer power invested in Adam Warlock. Warlock revolts against his creators after knowing about their evil intentions. He then harnesses enough energy to leave the planet Earth, and by doing so, he destroys the Citadel of Science and the scientists that built it. Hmm. After leaving Earth, Warlock would eventually get caught in the Watcher spacecraft and return to the cocoon which gave him life. The Watcher would return him to Earth, where he would face off against Thor in Thor number 165. Upon awakening on Earth, Warlock encounters Thor, Sif, and Balder. Um, he notes that he is lonely and wishes to find a mate and chooses Sif. A battle breaks out when Warlock sends both Thor and Balder flying while declaring, quote, Sif must be mine. There are none who oppose me. Oh, that's an interesting way of beginning a girlfriend, I guess. Uh, Thor would eventually gain the upper hand on Warlock by tapping into Warrior Madness. Increased fury would force Warlock to return to his cocoon and shoot off into space, leaving Sif behind. Warlock would drift through space, eventually running into the High Evolutionary. After the High Evolutionary's plan to create Counter Earth is usurped by his previous creation, Man Beast, Warlock volunteers to serve the humans that High Evolutionary created in order to prevent High Evolutionary from destroying the entirety of Counter Earth. Warlock's choice was made because he saw the goodness in the creations of the High Evolutionary. The High Evolutionary not only acquiesced, but provided Warlock with the Soul Gem before he sent him down to counter Earth. Let's see. Let's see. In a blog post providing details about the new series, Marvel noted that the series from Ron Martz and Ron Lim, quote, will reveal a never before seen chapter of Adam Warlock's fascinating origin, unquote. This never before seen chapter will introduce a character named Eve Warlock, who is described as, quote, someone stronger, faster, and smarter than Adam himself, unquote. On top of being superior to Adam Warlock in what appears to be every way, she will also, quote, strip Adam of all his power, starting with the soul gem, unquote. Yes, this almost seems like a feminist angle here, I guess. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Marvel Comics has done something like this. Back in the Incredible Hulk Annual number 6, it is revealed that Warlock didn't actually kill the scientists, rather, they were banished to another dimension, survived, and continued their mission by creating a new being. The scientists recruit Doctor Strange for their project to perform a neurological procedure that will bring this new being under their control, unlike their failed attempt with Adam Warlock. Procedure proceeds as Morlock and his fellow scientists wanted and and a new cocoon gives birth to a being called Paragon. After an epic battle with Doctor Strange and the Hulk, who was on the hunt for Doctor Strange, Paragon reveals he had previously learned about Warlock and knew of the scientific evil intentions. He found a way to subvert their control mechanisms and transform into an energy being. He then proceeded to destroy the base known as the Beehive before retreating back to its conceit. The cocoon would eventually be discovered in New York City and dragged out of the water. Upon being dragged out of the water, an energy being burst forth, proceed to locate the thing and Alicia Masters. Upon locating the duo, they who were enjoying some adult beverages, itself to be her. Her then explains that she realized that her purpose is to mate with Adam Warlock, in order, quote, to create the perfect race, unquote. Her also explains that the reason for transforming her physical appearance, quote, to that end to have altered my form to be his physical counterpart, Her would eventually travel with Moondragon, Alicia Masters, and Ben Grimm to Counter Earth, where she discovers the grave of Adam Warlock. Using her ability, she's able to resurrect Adam's physical form, but fails to have returned his soul to his body. The character would take on a number of names throughout Marvel's history, including Aisha and most recently Kismet. It's unclear if Her will be revealed to be Eve Warlock or if Eve Warlock is a completely new character that will change Adam Warlock's origin. One assumes these questions will be answered in Warlock Rebirth's first issue, which is expected to debut in April. One thing does appear to be clear is that the character will have some kind of relationship with the High Evolutionary as he is depicted in the interior art. Oh, there we go with that one. So we're done with the articles then. Let's see. We will go ahead and so we'll go ahead then and start to move on to the wrestling wrap up here. So yes, last night Dynamite they did have a tribute show for Jay Briscoe. The main event was a tribute match between Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, in which Mark Briscoe won. The show started off with the Jericho Appreciation Society defeating Action Andretti and Ricky Starks. And you also had on the show, of course, Brian Danielson defeating Brian Cage to continue his trek to become the number one contender. Let me see. Also, of course, we know that Ruby Soho defeated Tony Storm. And so in a situation that's been panned, a lot of people are asking, well, why did they all of a sudden turn Saraya and Storm heel? It's like, doesn't make sense for a lot of people. Jungle Hook defeated the firm's Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. And Darby Allin successfully defended his TNT title against Buddy Matthews. So that's all that happened on there last night. Still a lot of hoopla over the Royal Rumble. All right. So with that, let's see. And of course, there's still so apparently now there's another lawsuit that Vince McMahon is having to deal with in the WWE as a couple of stock shareholders have decided to sue him, over his hush money scandal. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. Royal Rumble, of course, is this weekend with the Royal Rumble matches. There's still a lot of rumor and innuendo as to who's going to be involved. Of course, we know that Roman Reigns will be defending the title against the titles against Kevin Owens. Bray Wyatt is scheduled to take on LA Knight in a pitch black match. So, guess we will wait and see how that all turns out. And apparently next week, former NXT. Now the rumor seems to be going around that former NXT superstar Timothy Thatcher will be making his AEW debut as the next challenger to Bryan Danielson to keep him from challenging MJF for the AEW World Title. So, so we seem to have that going on as well. All right, so let's see where are we at? An hour and 6 minutes. Okay, so all right, so I think we'll go ahead and start to wrap things up a bit. I think I will end this a little early, even a little earlier than usual. Uh, Anyway, all right. So anyway, so why don't we go ahead today being so why don't we go ahead and get look back at this day in each history. History. So today is Thursday, January 26th, 2023. So let's take a look back at this day in each history. All right, so here we go. First off, we're going to head back 30 years ago. As on this date, 30 years ago today, I can find it. The 20th and final issue of Clive Barker's Hellraiser from Marvel's Epic imprint went on sale on this date back in 1993. So 30 years ago today, the 20th and final issue of Clive Barker's Hellraiser, which is a horror anthology, went on sale on this date back in 1993, 30 years ago today. So let's see, what else? So also, also on this, what's on this date back in 2013, 10 years ago today. All right, so on this date, 10 years ago today, Velvet Sky would defeat Tara to win the TNA Women's Knockout Championship. Of course, Tara is now retired, from what I understand. Velvet Sky is currently a color commentator on NWA Power. So on this date, 10 years ago today, Velvet Sky defeated Tara to become the TNA Women's Knockouts Champion. So with that, as we move on to the next scene here. Okay, so on this, actually, in fact, this is gonna, basically 2013 is just so nice that it's not just hitting it twice, but we're gonna hit it thrice, as we have actually something from both um, animation and anime, as the Canadian animated series Stoked. From Fresh TV would end its run on Teletoon on this date back in 2013. As also the final episode of Pokemon Black and White Rival Destinies also aired on this date back in 2013. So Stoked and Pokemon, right? Pokemon, of course, from OLM Incorporated. So on this date back in 2013, both Stoked and Pokemon Black and White Rival Destinies both ended on this date back in 2013, 10 years ago today. So, anyways. Anyway, so with that, guys, so tomorrow night, of course, is our weekly look back at comic history. We'll be, of course, Rick Piper will be joining me as we look back to comics that went on sale in August of 1939, focusing in on Centaur Comics and David McCabe publications. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.